Well, good afternoon, all of you. Thank you for in advance for your time and welcome at this iWelcome webinar concerning consent in action. Consent management is an important part of our functionality stack, and thanks to GDPR, more relevant than ever. But we believe as well that it can really help you and strengthen your relationship with clients, customers, or consumers. Using consent in the right way helps you to build trusted relationships and results in actionable data, which is highly valued by marketing departments as well. The purpose of this webinar is to give you more insight in our consent management approach, how we address this within our identity platform. And topics for coming half an hour will be around introductions, the trend in the market, and of course the added value of consent in building relationships with clients. Of course, we will, the vast majority of the time, look into the details, hosted by my colleague Adele. And of course, there are some times for Q&A at the end of this session. So if there is any questions, please also you can directly ask them via the chat, or maybe at the end of the session we can have some Q&As. So my name is Mark de Hulu. I'm involved with iWelcome for over 4 years now and have a proven track record in IT sales and business development. I'm also still involved with some of our larger clients, especially with some strategic developments around integration of IoT. And assisting me today and part of our solution architect team is Adele. Adele has a track record in technical and architectural roles within companies like Fujitsu and Ingenico. I will hand over to Adele as soon as we get into the details, and he will actually show you the real product. As iWelcome, we are the European-based identity as a service provider, designed exclusively for the cloud. We saw actually an opportunity in the market for identity and access management as a service, offering a service that compared to on-premise identity solutions is adding more value due to quicker time to market capabilities and being far more cost effective than traditional on-premise solutions. We were founded in 2011 and significantly building and growing the business since then. And we were proud to get recognition from the market concerning our capabilities, especially from analysts like Gartner and KuppingerCole. According to them, we're the most innovative CM platform around. As mentioned, iWelcome is exclusively subjected to European laws for data protection and privacy, and in no way prone to influence from any non-European government. We have designed and built iWelcome with the complexity, security requirements, privacy concerns, and flexibility challenges of large organizations in mind. iWelcome is a cloud-born platform and therefore bring you all the benefits from as a service delivery model. We got you up and running in a number of weeks and pay as you go for the usage of our IAM, Identity and Access Management functionality. We're private by design from network through application and of each customer protected iWelcome environment. Our platform is engineered to securely offer a full scope of IAM functionality to connect all types of users. Creating an intuitive user experience and maintaining an accurate single view of and towards the consumer while addressing continuous privacy protection in a GDPR compliant manner is the balancing act for today's businesses. It's about help building trust by protecting data, by transparent communication throughout the customer journey, and by empowering consumers to control their preferences and privacy at any moment, and by doing this at internet scale. The GDPR legislation demands a detailed approach to consent. Not only should in certain situations data subjects, the consumers or the clients, be asked for consent, as a data controller you have to be able to demonstrate that the consumer has consented to processing of his or her personal data, and for which purpose. Additionally, the consumer should be able to withdraw consent at any time, just as easy as it was given. In order to build consent management at the heart of digital business-driven consumer identity and access management platform, we have over 2 years ago seriously changed our identity and access management with the introduction of what we call this consumer EAM data model, designed to flexibly add attributes and to store preference, interest, and profile information. We even added metadata to all attributes collected in our platform to easily register user consents, even multi-value. And for sure, Adele will show you in a minute. Omnichannel and digital transformation are keywords in today's businesses. Identity management is a prerequisite for these customer-facing services. Our platform, the iWelcome Consumer Identity and Access Management Platform, provides all the capabilities to acquire and interact with customers across all devices during all phases of the customer's life cycle. We can improve registration rates and user experiences. Proof is delivered on a daily basis for millions of consumers, like in certain sectors like the insurance market, the energy, mobility, and media and publishing. Today, the trend in digital customer engagement is about offering ease and creating trust. Trust is everything, I believe. Trust isn't just based on the way you use or misuse personal data. Trust stems from the public general opinion of your brand, the quality of your product, the services, the availability of support, the nature on one-on-one interactions, and the transparency of how do you business all play into consumer trust. New privacy regulations like the GDPR in the past, but also with e-privacy regulation coming up, will make every company look how they would use this data. Ultimately, trusted brands will have access to customers' data via consent, and in the age of privacy, being one of the few organizations that are able to leverage that data will have the biggest advances in our belief. Because trusted and consented data will lead to actionable data for marketing departments as well. So I just mentioned about customer retention and how trusted relationships can have a positive impact on that. So consent lifecycle management, but also consumer identity and access management help identify who your loyal and biggest clients and spenders are, gathering the relevant data for those clients and customers, and provide a trustworthy relationship. So organizations trying to get what we call and what we have mentioned a lot, a 360 degree on their clients and on their customers, which aims to integrate customer information across the multiple channels, systems, devices, and products in order to improve the interaction experience and maximize the value delivered. Well, we often get the question, what will this 360 bring to you as an organization? Well, in our opinion, it brings a consistent and complete view of your customers across the different channels, products, etc. It can give you a view about the past, of course, the present and the future, and a better method to understand and better engage with your clients and customers. A driver of brand perception, consistency, personalized, relevant way of doing business with your customers, and in our opinion, consumer identity and access management, and especially also consent lifecycle management, provide the ability to contribute to this. So, as a final slide from my side to wrap up things with respect to our platform, give you an overview of our visually about what we have to offer in our platform. Of course, consumer identity and access management and consent management or consent lifecycle management provide you a better customer experience, customer journeys. Applications are relieved from identity consent management complexity, all related to one trusted source. And especially also gathering the right data while being transparent and using it correctly is key to retention, not only from a business perspective, but also from an auditing and controlling perspective. And of course, getting it the right way to the consumer and give them control of their own personal information, their consents and purposes. So this is the functionality and the different things we are able to offer, and in our strong belief, where consent management play an important role. So enough about some background and some PowerPoint slides. I suggest we move over to what I call the real product. Adele, can you give us some more insight in our product, in our capabilities?
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining. I will be now taking you through our sandbox environment, and I will demonstrate a few things. First, we will be doing a pretty basic registration flow, and after that I will go into the self-service and customer service portal, and after that I will talk about the APIs and how you can utilize consent using our API. So talking about CM, I think consent is a very important part of it, but it's not the only part, and it's a full journey that is related to the whole process from registration throughout the whole process. So I would like to start registering myself pretty easily with just a made-up email that I just created at Yopmail. So and then I will just sign up, and then I directly get a confirmation email. So once I log into my made-up Yopmail, that account registration is out there. It's just there, and I will just continue registering now. So now it's time to set my password. And I'm gonna do something very quickly here to set a password, and now continue on the registration. And here what's important is to see that the collection of data starts directly during registration, when you get the name and the last name, the birth date, the gender, the address. And not everything is mandatory. There are mandatory fields that are contractually mandatory, but there are things that are there, but you cannot really make them mandatory. So I will put my name here, and then my birth date. And for example, the gender, this is not contractually needed, but we can ask for it. And then we can also say why we are asking for it. And here we are asking to better customize offers. For example, if you are a retailer, I will keep it as rather not say. And then I will go to put my address, for example. And then once you choose the country, it really gives you a layout of the address that is acceptable in that country. So for example, one of the things that can be utilized here also that we have, it's not available on my demo, but you can have a post lookup. So basically using a service that will actually verify the address is actually existing in that case. And here, as you can see, I am going to give consent to two different documents, the privacy policy and the terms of service. And those are also consents that are the type of consent for a document. Those will be also shown later when I log in into the system. So now I'm creating an account. This is an account that is going to be created now. Now go to the login page. For the demo purpose, I did create an account before that is fully configured. So I'm going to log in into that account at the moment. As you can see, once I log in into the account, the first thing I see on the self-service is my let's say my personal info. There's my name and gender and birth date. There's my address and email and phone number. All these things have been asked and provided by me. And to better tie this to the consent, I would like to go to the privacy tab here. And as I told you before, you have here the possibility as a user to see all the things that you have consented to, and also all the documents that you have consented to. For example, here the privacy policy on September 28th. Also, there are the consents which are on an attribute level for a specific purpose, such as if we say here, for there's my email address and I gave consent to that yesterday, and it's to manage my account. But also I have taken away the consent on the birth date, but I can give it again. So the idea behind consent is that it's also supposed to be as easy to give it and also as easy to revoke it. And that's why the system is designed in that way. Besides all this, having different processing purposes for each attribute is pretty easy. So for email address, I can pretty easy with a small coding command add another processing purpose, such as sending newsletter, for example, for the email, and that is shown pretty quickly on the tool itself, on the UI. Via this UI as well, if you can see here, I can obtain a copy of my profile information. Basically, everything that I consented to, everything that is in the system about me, I can get a copy. Once I click on it, it will just send an email to my email with all the personal data. Going forward from here, talking about the security tab, and here there is only at the moment two functions. The first is to change the password, where you can choose a new password or check the password tips to get a new password. The password policy can be also configured, but also here you have the possibility, following the GDPR, the right to for deletion. You can just click here and delete your account. you click your password, and then you are actually deleted. What happens in the background is that there is a workflow that is agreed upon on how things are deleted, if these are contractual or not, and what should be kept and not. All these actions done on the profile are then mirrored and registered into my timeline. You can see here everything that I did on my timeline since the beginning of the time, and also when I give consent and when I take it. Also, besides that, in order to be even more sure that it was me, for example, here, I gave a consent today at 15:16 CET, GMT, sorry, and it shows you the device and then also the browser, but also which OS are you using and what is your IP address. This is to make sure that it's actually, this is increasing trust that it was actually me and not someone else, because I know that this is my IP address. If all this is also, let's say I get into my account and I see something that I don't recognize, so I have the possibility to contact the customer service. So if I would go to our customer service portal here, and I would log in with my account as an employee. So I'm gonna log in now, and it will send me a code in order to log in, and this is a second authentication method, just to have a strong authentication that's actually me. And let's see, no, it's supposed to be correct. What I can see here as an employee, when someone calls me, for example, is now we had the account of William, and I'm going to search for William because he's calling and he's saying, well, I see something on my timeline that I don't recognize. And then we can also see those events exactly the same way he does. And what happens here also, we can have a bit more control over, we can block the account, we can unblock accounts and reactivate it, and also we can delete it on behalf of a user. If they call us and say, we would like to delete our accounts, then they can do that. And also we can update their personal data. Now, all those events that I shown here in terms of consent are then also created as events, and those events can be seen in our monitoring system using Kibana. We use graphs to show these things, and here I created a dashboard showing different events, and some of them are consent related. To show those consent related events, I will dig deeper into this, and here you can see that there are 17 consent events that has been given. You can see that there are processing attributes that was given consent, and then there is a revoked, and then also for a document. So if I approve a document, that's different type. If I revoke or if I consent, these are different types, and all this is monitored and can be actually used to integrate with the Google Analytics or any SIEM system that you use in order to have those for marketing purposes or for any monitoring purposes for that matter. Now, talking about our UI and all that, I think that is also important to understand that all our UI here is branded as iWelcome, but the product itself is actually pretty much white labeled, and that means that once you integrate with the product, your end users will never see anything that has to do with iWelcome. It can be completely rebranded to match your design and style, and the customers or your end customers, your end users will not see anything that has to do with iWelcome. But besides that, saying that around 80% of our clients using our APIs, I think it's important to mention here that all this can be also utilized using APIs. And for that, we have created a developer portal. In the developer portal, we have a extensive documentation on everything. And I decided here to show the consent API, for example, because that's what we were talking about. And in this, you can really follow all the different use cases that you can use in order to utilize consent using API. Now, everyone could register to the developer portal and to the sandbox. These are available if you would like to check the sandbox and just play around and get a feeling of the system. That is absolutely okay. You can just register, and for the developer portal, you can contact Mark, and then we will make sure you get an account. And for now, I would like to know if there are any questions from your side, and I will be more than happy to answer.
Yes, thank you, Adele. Great to have some more insights and feeling. If there are any questions, we're running great on time. We have 5 minutes left, but if there are any questions, feel free to ask your questions. Once again, we got some registration. Of course, we know who is involved in being part of this session. So I will make sure that we get you the slides as well. Apologies again on that side. Any questions so far?
If you have any question, please post them on the questions section on the GoToWebinar, and we will see them and answer them directly.
Okay, I don't think there are any specific questions so far. So I trust we have addressed everything upon expectations. Well, I would like to thank all of you for your attention, and hopefully see you next time in one of our webinars.